So why should anyone study history? We are obsessed with our lives in the present. We live our lives very much in the present, and we plan and we worry about the future. So a lot of the time students say, well, why should I bother learning about something that happened ages ago? What's it got to do with me now? The study of history is actually about understanding how the modern world, the society in which we live in, came about. And it's only through looking at what has happened in the past that we can fully understand the society in which we live. Everything to do with class, with culture, with multiculturalism, it all comes from what has happened before. And that's why studying of history can be so rewarding. It also complements a lot of other subjects as well, particularly the other humanities, English, religious studies, and it can help develop skills such as extending writing and the ability to analyse and evaluate evidence. Okay. So Year 7 history at Surbiton High School. All students study history in Year 7 at Surbiton. We recognise that students come from a variety of different backgrounds. Some might have studied history as a separate topic, so it might have just done individual depth studies or have done something called humanities. So all students come from a different background, and we try to reflect and honour that in the way that we teach. Gcse history, it's a really popular choice for students at Surbiton High School. It's structured in 4 topics. So the first paper, paper 1, is called Understanding the Modern World, and there's 2 subtopics within that first paper. So the first is Germany from 1890 to 1945. So we look at how Germany changed from being one of the greatest democracies, one of the most sort of progressive democracies in the world in the 1920s, to the collapse of the Weimar Republic and the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party. And we also look at how life for German people changed from the Kaiser to Hitler and the Nazi Party. So there's a dual aspect there, the sort of political but also the social aspect of it. We then pick up in 1945. The second topic that we do under the Understanding of the Modern World topic is called Conflict and Tension 1945 to 1972. So this looks at the Cold War. So the 2 topics complement each other really well. We pick up the second topic looking at the situation in 1945, but rather than just focusing on Germany, we look at the world as a whole. So we look at how the Cold War came about and look at some of the major conflicts of the Cold War. So the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. And by the time we get to 1972, we say, why did a period of détente come about, and look at sort of what the implications of that was for the wider study. The second paper which we do is more of the British history. It's called Shaping the Nation, and again there's 2 subtopics of this. The first is called Britain, Power and the People, 1170 to the present day. And as the name suggests, it takes us through the history of British people and how they gained power. So the decline in the power of the monarchy, the rise in the power of Parliament, and we look at all aspects from that. So it covers 800 years of history, but we don't look at the whole 800 years. We just look at isolated events and see how that helped the British people gain power. So everything from revolutions and rebellions to the work of the suffragists, to even to minority rights in the 20th century. So we looked at a huge kind of range of factors, and it's a great way of really understanding how our country came to be the way it is today. The second topic in paper 2 is Restoration England, so 1660s to 1685. This is our depth study, and it focuses on the restoration of the monarchy under King Charles II. So we look at the political aspects of that, how he actually came to be restored, what changed, what had changed after the execution of Charles I, how he was a slightly different king to his father. But then we also look at the social aspect as well. So we look at some of the big events of his reign, the Great Fire of London, the rebuilding of St Paul's Cathedral, the Plague of 1665. Part of this topic, which is really popular, is the study of the historic environment. So this is a case study that students will be examined on, and we usually run a trip to the site that has been chosen for that year. So past sites have included Ham House in Richmond, Greenwich Royal Observatory, and St Paul's Cathedral. So we get to go and experience, live and breathe in the sort of the restoration area, and it really helps us cement the knowledge and understanding of that particular topic. So those are the 4 topics which we study GCSE history. So you have 2 exams in the summer of year 11, paper 1, which is the Understanding the Modern World, and paper 2, which is the British study. why should students study GCSE history? If you've enjoyed it in the past, you will enjoy GCSE history. It helps you to answer some really big questions, such as why do wars happen? Where does power come from? How have we come to live in the multicultural society that we have today? So learning about past events and past people's experiences helps you understand how we got to the point where we are today, and also start thinking about how the world will develop in the future as well. You'll learn excellent communication and writing skills. You'll learn how to construct an argument, how to investigate. It'll improve your problem solving skills, and also your powers of analysis and interpretation. So all of these skills which complement a lot of other subjects and can be a fantastic foundation for continuing your studies at A-level.